are trying to stop different flavored tobacco smoke. I see you're a vapor.
Well, that I actually looked into that very, very deeply.
Yeah.
This was the tobacco industry had a problem. The problem was this. I kicked cigarettes with this because it's just, you can have nicotine in it or not, but, it's not a
And if
tobacco.
you had any health consequences from using that thing? 'Cause
Zero.
I keep hearing about people getting lung issues.
Well, okay, so a couple of things happened. The lung issues, and I don't know who you know personally, but there was this.
I don't know anybody personally.
Okay, there was a
problem.
scare, and the scare killed a couple of people, like 10 people. And what it turned out was that was people who had vaped THC cartridges. And the people who you buy your THC cartridge from a dispensary here, it's actually packaged by somebody else, not by that person. So you have, King World or whatever, these different, that's kind of a reputable brand, but it's packaged somewhere else. That means putting the stuff in. And they put in some vitamin E acetate, and that just kind of like created heat that up and became a web of some shit inside your lung and fucked you up. So that's a bad thing, but it had nothing to do with vaping nicotine with the typical chemicals that you get from reputable companies.
Can I ask you this? Is the vaping from marijuana with their process is more problematic than vaping of tobacco?
Well, it certainly was in that case because someone changed the formula. Then you need to have some oil in there in order to keep it liquid and for it to just for it to be able to go into the vape and not.
So the issue was actually the vitamin E oil?
Yes, yes. And so that stopped, of course. Somewhere someone did something shitty and that happened.
A really high guy actually said this to me once. He told me that he uses organic MCT oil for his vapes, and he was like handing me his vape. I'm like, bro, I'm not sucking on your vape. I don't even know you. You could be a crazy person. You could be DMT vapes. They have DMT vapes now. Somebody hands you a vape pen, you might be going into orbit. Okay.
So tobacco states, everyone's keyed up. They buy Juul for $18 billion. They buy it as a write-off. They want to get this company out of the market.
Really?
Then they go to the FDA and they start all this shit about flavors. You saw it everywhere.
Yeah.
It was massive. It was a perfect storm. We got 10 people dying from vaping something completely unrelated, but vaping e-cigarettes. He had an e-cigarette, he died. It was actually, he vaped, but he vaped a bad THC cartridge and got a severe problem. So you know how the media plays that, and it just kept on spinning. They're like, well, we have to stop children, and the way you stop it is by taking away the flavors, because children, they want flavors. That's what the problem is. So that fucked Juul over. And actually Altria, who they bought Philip Morris, basically, so it's the biggest tobacco company. They already wrote down half of it. They're like, just taking the fucking L on it. They want to get rid of it because in the wings they had their competing product, which is IQOS. I quit ordinary smoking, small I, capital QOS. And it heats tobacco. So it looks like a vape pen, but it actually runs on tobacco, and it doesn't burn it, it heats it up, has some kind of mechanism in the filter, you inhale, and it's almost their dream, which is the smokeless cigarette, very close to it. But most importantly, it's not a nicotine, synthetic nicotine, it is tobacco product, which is their business. And they really ratcheted this up so high that they got Trump involved. And Trump actually, with Melania, they did a thing with Alex Azar, the Health and Human Services Secretary. He said, this vaping is very dangerous. We have a kid. Actually, it was one of those moments where everyone loves to jump on Trump. He said, Melania has a kid. He forgot to say it was his, whatever it was. And now he's actually been overheard saying, I wish I'd never gotten involved in that fucking thing, because he figured it out. He figured out it was a huge scam. The bill has been stopped, but now they're still trying to push through a bill that will help the tobacco companies even more by outlawing any type of flavored e-cigarettes or juice liquid. They just want to get rid of it.
So it's really like Who Killed the Electric Car?
It's exactly that. And they just go look at it now. IQOS. They're launching. There's news stories today that say, oh my God, it's the saving grace. We have the new product we've all been waiting for. Right at the moment that vaping is going to kill you, it's hooking children because of flavors.
So do you think they're hiring people to write news stories, and the news organizations are picking you up because they're being told to do this?
Just do a press release. Come on. It's so easy in the media. Just do a press release and Oh, by the way, we're Altria, so we're going to buy $500 million worth of advertising over the next 5 years. Would you please run our story, or you might want to look at this? Come on, it's tobacco.
So do you think that they make a deal before they accept the press release to do advertising, or do they wait a little bit?
You don't even have to say anything. Yeah. It's just
yeah. It's implied.
Why do you not
Everyone knows.
Why do you not hear the discussion about over medication of children on television? Look at the number one advertiser.
Right.
If you start talking, it's just not discussed. You can't have this
because it is a
discussion.
controversial subject, and it would be a good subject for
It's
television
not
because it would get a lot of people paying attention to it.
It's not,
right.
well,
It would get a lot of ratings if you have a lot of stories about over medication of children. People would be like, "What? What is going on?" It would be something people would be interested in. Right?
Yeah.
And yet they don't do it
Because the advertise.
Right.
I mean,
That's
just look at your advertise. I have to turn off the sound these days because I'm sure that I'm being blanketed with so many ads that eventually I'm going to get propecia. Eventually I'm going to get high blood pressure. My dick's not going to work because that's what you're telling you every commercial block.
Yeah.
Everyone. It's pharmaceutical until like cable news, especially because it's an older demographic. But even if you watch, what is it? What do they have? Where they have 2.5 Men running all TV land. 2.5 Men, and what's the other one? Doug and Carrie. I love
don't watch
that.
those.
Come on, Kevin James is
2.5 Men.
No. Doug and Carrie, where he's the UPS driver.
Oh, King of Queens.
King of Queens,
yes.
yeah.
But I don't watch.
Oh man,
sitcoms
I can
anymore.
watch that.
That's a funny show.
I can just watch it over and over
Kevin's
again.
a good dude.
But
and
then
a very funny guy.
every commercial break, boom.
Drugs. Yeah. What is it? Which documentary was it there that had a description about the United States saying that we are one of 2 countries in the world that allows advertising of
Yes, I think
pharmaceutical
Australia is the other.
I think it's New Zealand.
Okay.
It's either Australia or New Zealand.
Sorry, either one, because
How
that's
dare
like
you.
a real fuck up.
Yeah.
It's called out the wrong one of those
I think
two.
I'm pretty sure it's New Zealand.
Uh-huh.
But that, for whatever reason, everybody else is like, what are you, crazy?
Yeah.
And once we got it in there, it's like, once something becomes something that everybody does.
We are crazy.
It's really difficult to fix.
It's crazy that we do that.
I'm going to get you a blunt.